should know this well. Ain't trying to wish you ill. Hope this life treats you swell. Oh yeah, BS, go fuck yourself.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Hajilicious, and welcome back to my prediction series. Today, we're back in the MMA world with UFC 204. We're looking at the top three fights on that card, being Ovince Preux versus Jimi Manuwa, Vitor Belfort versus Gegard Mousasi, and the rematch from UFC 100, Dan Henderson versus Michael the Count Bisping. So let's get right into this and start off with the OSP versus Manuwa match. This match to me is kind of an interesting match because at light heavyweight, both these guys are kind of mid-card fighters. It's interesting if you look at their last two losses together. OSP's last two losses came against Jon Jones and Glover Teixeira, and Jimmy's last two losses were against Anthony Rumble Johnson and Alexander Gustafsson, which kind of supports my feeling and predictions that these guys are just mid-card fighters. They're not. I mean, these are guys that'll get title shots, but it'll be in the situation like OSP did against Jon Jones, which is just kind of like a warm-up match for him. These guys are both very, very deadly strikers. Both these guys. Lots of knockouts. OSP holds a 19-8, 19-win, 8-loss record. He's got 9 wins coming by knockout, 5 by submission, and 5 by decision. Jimi Manuwa's got 15 wins, 2 losses, 13 knockouts, 1 submission, 1 decision. Both these guys are, I mean, if any of these guys connect, it's lights out. For this fight, though, I'm kind of pulling on OSP here. He had a really good showing against Jon Jones. Jon Jones is one of the best fighters in the world, if not one of the best light heavyweights ever. So losing to him is not necessarily the worst loss you can have. Jimmy, fuck, I have a feeling this would be my upset right here. Would be Jimmy winning, but some I can't get past OSP's power. He looked really good against Jon Jones, so I kind of think he's going to ride off a little bit of that momentum. Clean out Jimmy here, probably in like the second round. If anybody gets knocked out, it'll be in the second round. Let's take OSP in that one. Next fight we got is Gegard Mousasi versus Vitor Belfort. Now Vitor holds a small place in my heart because he was one of my favorite fighters back in the day. Like, I miss TRT Vitor. Like, there's a part of me that wished the UFC just had one division, like 265 pounds, where you could just be juiced to the tits. Because that's when we saw some of the best Vitor. Vitor, right now, he's 39 years old. He's 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, fighting with the Black Zillion out of Black Zillion's camp. He holds a 25-win, 12-loss record. Of his 25 wins, he has 18 by knockout, 3 submissions, and 4 decisions. Of his 12 losses, he has 5 KOs, 2 submissions, and 5 decisions. On the other side, we got Gegard Mousasi, who is 31 years old, 6'1", 186 pounds, fighting out of Red Devil International Camp. He has 39 wins, 6 losses. Of his 39 wins, 20 come by knockout, 12 by submission, 7 by decision. Of his 6 losses, he has 1 by knockout, 3 by submission, and 2 by decision. These guys are... This is a fight right here that Gegard Mousasi has really no reason to lose. He is the younger fighter. He's in his prime. He's got a couple good wins off of Thiago Santos and Dan Henderson last year. Vitor, like I said, Vitor was one of those guys who's just, we're seeing him at the tail end of his career right now. He's starting to get losses. He's starting to lose to people, he shouldn't. Rolando Salza comes to mind. He did lose to Chris Weidman. Got a couple wins against Hendo recently. This is another fight where I look for Mousasi to come in and kind of clean house here. Like I said, if this fight took place in like 2005, 2006, Vitor unanimously would win this fight. But we're gonna go with Gegard Mousasi here. Kind of the feeling I'm getting here with these guys. Mousasi's just he's just a badass. He's coming into his own right now. Discredit his loss last year to Uriah Hall. I expect him. This is going to be one of those stat padding fights for him. Like, I just don't see Vitor really putting up much of an effort in this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Vitor is a crafty motherfucker, and he's got loads of experience. He's Vitor fucking Belfort, but he's also 39, almost 40-year-old Vitor Belfort. So let's go with Gerard Mousasi here. I think he'll win this fight in decision. I think this might go 3 rounds. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to take a three round decision there. But our main event tonight is the UFC 100 rematch of Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson. And Henderson picking. Let's start here. Michael Bisping, he's 37 years old, 6'2", 185 pounds, fighting out of HB Unlimited. He's got a 29 wins, 7 loss record. Of his 29 wins, he's 16 by knockout, 4 by submission, 9 by decision. Of his 7 losses, he has 2 knockouts, 1 submission, and 4 decisions. On the other side, we got Dan Henderson. He's 46 years old, 6'1", 185 pounds, fighting with Team Quest. He's got 32 wins, 14 losses. Of his 32 wins, he has 16 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 14 decisions. With his 4 losses, he has 3 knockouts, 4 submissions, 7 decisions. This is what you'd call the old Gray Bush fight right here, with Michael Bisping being the youngest fighter at 37 years of age. This is one of those fights that this is just a money fight. I mean, I understand it's a fucking title fight, but everybody knows after this fight we're going to find out who the real champion is in middleweight, because in my opinion, Michael Bisping got the benefit of Luke Rockhold sleeping on him. And Luke Rockhold made the mistake that a lot of these fighters do, where they don't care about who they're fighting. If they're like, just, it's 30 at the time, 36-year-old Michael Bisping. Oh, I'm going to be able to go in there and stomp this guy out. Not the case. Luke Rockhold got caught in the chin, and now Michael Bisping achieved his goal. He's a champion. I mean, I'm a big fan of Michael Bisping. I'm a big fan of Dan Henderson. UFC 100, their fight was one of those, especially for Dan Henderson, was one of the, a career-defining fight. I mean, for fuck's sakes. Dan Henderson's logo is him dropping that, flying fist down on Michael Bisping. That's his logo. So, these guys have, they have history. Bisping wants to get back at Henderson here and, redeem himself. He wants to come back and beat the shit out of Hendo. He's got a lot of pent-up aggression against that guy. On the other side, though, Henderson is wanting to achieve something he hasn't been able to achieve, and that's the middleweight championship. And there's nothing more than I would love to see Dan Henderson ride off into the sunset with the middleweight championship over his shoulder. Like that, Hendo's my boy. He's one of those. I try to keep partial with a lot of these fights, but man, I've been watching fights for a long time, and there's some guys that just steal my fucking heart. Like Henderson's one of them. He's just a fucking certified badass. I've been watching that guy KO people for fucking years. In this fight, though, age, statistics, everything right now says Bisping should be able to defend this. But me in my heart, and I'm going to go on my heart here, and this is probably where I'm going to pick up a loss, is going with Dan Henderson. I hope Hendo knocks Bisping the fuck out. He can get another logo for his fight camp. But let's do that. Let's look at if theoretically if Henderson was going to win this, it'd be by decision. He's going to have to gut it out and just try to out. But I don't even know if these guys can go 5 fucking rounds. So that's kind of what makes this fight a little difficult to judge here. So let's go with the quick victory for Hendo. Let's have Hendo hit his home run to close the stadium down. Let's do that. We'll pick up Henderson in the 3rd round knockout, TKO, something like that. We're going to do that. But thanks for watching, guys. This video is a little shorter than I wanted it to be, but I'm just kind of breezing through these 3 fights. UFC 204 is it's a little lackluster, especially in comparison to the 205 fight card that was just announced. And I'll be getting a video out for that probably shortly after UFC 204 goes down. But thanks, guys, for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. As always, go fuck yourselves. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.